This video will explain how to write a function rule if you're given a table. So some of these problems are easier than other problems. Like, for example, when I see this problem, really quickly it sticks out to me that if I take this 4 and I subtract 3, I get the 1. And if I take 5 and I subtract 3, I get 2. So that just came to me pretty quickly. So the rule is if you take the top number, which is n, and subtract 3, you'll get the output. But there's a process that we can get n minus 3, and it will work for even ones that are a little bit harder. So here's the steps that will allow you to do all problems the same way. So the first step is you're going to find how far apart each of these are. So I'm going to add 1. Here I'm going to add 3. Okay, these are 1 apart, and this is 3 apart. So then you're going to take your output over your input. So the output here was a difference of 1, and the output difference here is 1, and 1 divided by 1 is 1. Now I'm going to do the same thing just to show you it doesn't matter which ones you use. If I do that here and I take 3 over that, the input difference, you get 1. So this number right here tells you what to multiply n by. So since we got 1, that's the number that's next to the n, so 1n. So in other words, we're not going to multiply anything to n. Okay, so the first step, what we did over here, this tells us what to multiply to the n. So what to put in front of the n, the coefficient of an n, in other words. So this one we get 1, that means that the n has nothing to be multiplied to. Well, let's go ahead and look at this. So the output is 1. What do I need to, since I don't multiply, because this tells us to multiply by 1, and multiplying by 1, again, if I want to put that there, I can. But what do I need to add or subtract to 4 to get 1? So hopefully you're like, subtract 3. So then I'm going to see if this works for all of them. So if I plug in a 5, is 5 minus 3, 2. So it works. So the rule that will get me every output in this table is n minus 3. Okay, so let's try that here. So first thing, I'm going to find the difference between them. And then the difference here. And here I'm going down by 1. So it should be a negative 1. Here I was going up by 1. So I'm going to take the output over the input. And the output here, they were going down by 1, so negative 1. And then here the input was 1. And negative 1 divided by 1 is negative 1. So that tells me I'm going to multiply n by negative 1. So you could write it like that, or you could write it like this. So then I'm going to think about this. I'm going to take this 3. If my output is 3, and I need to multiply by negative 1 to n, and I plug in, this is n, because it says the top row is n. If I plug in 1 right here, I would have negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, which isn't 3. So I'm thinking, what do I need to add or subtract to negative 1 to get 3? So if I add 4, positive 4 to it, then it would work. So I need to, the rule is to add 4. So multiply by negative 1 and add 4. So either way is correct to write the rule. So let's just verify one more, make sure it works. So it says to multiply n by negative 1 and then add 4. So let's try this one. So if n is 2, if I put 2 here, I have negative 2 plus 4, which is 2, which is its output. Okay, let's try one more here. So the difference between these is it's going up by 1, and here it's going down by, or actually we're going to add 3 every time here. So it's the output over the input. So the output is 3, it's going up by 3, and the input is going up by 1. So 3 divided by 1 is 3. So that tells me what I'm going to multiply n by. So then I'm going to plug in one of these numbers. I'm going to go ahead with this one. It doesn't matter which one, and the reason why I'm going to pick 4, because I rather use 4 and 5. I don't want to have to worry about these negatives right here until later. So I'm going to start with 4. So the output is 5. So I want to input for n, I want to plug in a 4 here. And multiplying it by 3 doesn't work. So I need to ask myself, what number do I need to add? Or what number do I need to subtract that will get me 5? So I know that if I subtract 7, then 12 minus 7 gets me 5. So the rule is to multiply by 3 and subtract 7. So let's verify that it works. So let's verify it works here. So multiply by 3, so I'm going to go ahead and take 2, multiply by 2, and I'd get 6 minus 7, which is -1, which is the next number. So it works.